Are you looking to get back in touch with a loved one? If so, today we're going to talk about a daily habit that can help you strengthen your relationships. What's up, everybody? Welcome back into another episode of Fast and Focus. I'm Zach Matthews, and you are watching episode 6 of our 10 Transformative Habits for Health and Success series. As we continue our series, we're uncovering habits that can reshape your life. And in today's episode specifically, we're shifting the focus to your connections with a simple yet powerful habit of making one daily call to a loved one. Now, before we get going on how to implement this and turn this into a daily habit, I really want to stress the importance of why we need to make this a daily habit, especially why it made this list of 10 transformative habits for health and success. So to do that, I want to tell you a quick story about a woman named Bronnie Ware. She used to be, I believe she's from Australia. She used to be a palliative carer, which means she's basically a nurse for those who were diagnosed with a serious illness that would likely lead to their death. So as a result, she spent a lot of time with people near their last breath of life or during their last breath of life. And so she took it upon herself to ask these people what their biggest regret was, in their lifetime. And she wanted to get a sense of like what was most important to people during their last few hours, few minutes. And so she came up with a list of 5 and turned it into her book, the top 5 regrets of the dying. And number 4 on that list just so happened to be that, quote, "I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends and loved ones." Now, I know it can be really morbid and really depressing to think about the little time that we have on this earth, or, maybe the thought of one of our loved ones passing, but the truth still remains. None of us live forever. And so the goal isn't just to accomplish as much as possible in this life. The goal is to accomplish as much as possible with the people that mean the most to you. Relationships are everything in this life. And so this habit right here of making one daily call to a loved one is going to help you prioritize that and stay grounded and stay humbled as you go through other daily habits and go throughout your lifestyle trying to build your success and health. If you've ever wondered about the benefits of prioritizing making a daily call to a loved one, then I want to help you out with that, because I want you to, obviously it's going to strengthen the relationship, but I want you to understand what benefits that you and they will get from prioritizing this in your daily life. So first and foremost, it's going to bolster your bond between each other. It's going to strengthen your relationship, right? So it's going to deepen that connection that you two have, and the act of reaching out consistently shows them that you care and strengthens the emotional bonds as well, because one of the biggest problems that you might be having with a specific loved one right now is that neither of you are really reaching out to each other. So sometimes to break that pattern, it just takes one person reaching out consistently. And then, you reach out for like 4, 5, 6, 7 straight days. Then all of a sudden the other person, your loved one, is going to be like, wait, that was nice. Let me call them. Maybe they're busy. Let me just try and touch base with them. So it strengthens that bond and it shows that you care, which deepens the relationship. So number 2 on our list is that it helps you avoid regrets. Now, as I just shared with the story of Bronnie Ware and her patients, number 4 on that 5 top regrets of the dying list was, I wish I had reached out to my friends and loved ones more. I mean, I can't stress that enough. Like, life moves fast, guys. But I would never have imagined that I'd be 32 years old, but here I am. And so we sometimes, in the hustle bustle of everyday life, with everything we're trying to accomplish, we can forget to connect with those that matter most. I mean, even me and my wife, if we're not careful between our careers and our kids, I mean, it can be like ships passing in the night. I'm in the door, she's out the door doing something else, and vice versa. So it's really important to prioritize those things. And even when you don't have a chance to give them a call, send them a text, send them an email, whatever you can get your hands on, however you can get in touch with them that day, that shows that you care. And then number 3 on our list of the top 3 benefits of prioritizing a daily call to a loved one is the positive mental well-being that you will accomplish and feel in your everyday life. Now, connecting with loved ones can help you reduce that stress as well. So this all just contributes to a positive mindset for not just you, but for them. So prioritize it. Don't even think about, I could go a day without talking to them, or I could go a day without talking to a loved one. you never know when someone needs a call. So prioritize a daily call to a loved one. Maybe it's not the same loved one, maybe it's a couple different ones every day in a rotation, but just make sure that everybody's getting a call so that you can make sure that they are taken care of and getting the emotional benefits in your life as well, reducing your stress in the process. I think we can all agree that this is a really important habit when it comes to developing a healthy lifestyle that gives us purpose and meaning. However, there's no doubt that this is going to be harder for some of us than others. Some of us just don't have as good of a relationship with our loved ones as the other ones do, or maybe it's been a longer time between you and a loved one talking than someone else who's listening or watching this video. So I want to help give you guys a few pointers that can help you set this thing in motion, and just kind of take baby steps. So the first one that I have is just making that first call. Don't put too much pressure on yourself right away to make this a daily thing that you do for the rest of your life. Let that come, okay? And you'll find a good rhythm with this. The point isn't maybe to make a one call every single day, but maybe you find a good rhythm with like 3 or 4 times a week. It just becomes a little more top of mind for you. That's kind of what we're going for here. So just making that first call, it eliminates the stress that might come with making that connection. The single call concept might seem small at the time, but it sets the foundation for something bigger moving forward. So again, I just want to encourage you guys that this one call that you make, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, is gonna be the first step towards that meaningful connection and the consistency that we're looking for, so that this never happens again to where you haven't talked to them for a while. And then the second pointer that I had is just reaching out with different touch points. Now that's a sales term, touch points. And I come from a sales background, but basically what I mean by that is maybe you don't have time to call them every single day. Maybe that's what part of the problem has been. So just make sure you're reaching out any way you can. There are a plethora of ways to get in touch with someone and just let them know that you're thinking about them these days. I mean, you can give them a call, sure. You could also shoot them a meaningful text, or just a text with like an inside joke or something, just something to make them smile. You could email, if you're just stuck to your desk one day and you're just firing email after email, send them an email of something that kind of stuck out to you and made you think of them. And then you could also do social media. Social media is great for just like sharing like funny videos and everything. As silly as that sounds, I mean, it really is meaningful, and it develops that relationship and just kind of makes each other smile, which is really, the only goal that we have with developing these meaningful relationships. So again, just focus on the single call, and focus on many different touch points, not just the call. Focus on text, email, social media messages, whatever, tagging them in posts with to bring up a little nostalgia. Whatever you feel like is gonna make an impact on them, because again, it's all about relationships in this life, and these 2 pointers alone can help you just kind of kickstart that thing without feeling overwhelmed about making a daily call or turning this into something bigger right off the bat. All right, so after we've prioritized that initial call, we've made that initial call, and now we're mixing it up with different touch points: phone, text, email, social media, whatever, to try different methods of communication with our loved ones. Then the task becomes prioritizing a daily call routine and something that we can stick to. And so the 3 pointers that I have for you on making a daily call routine that works for your schedule is, first of all, just making it easy. So again, like anything else we talk about on this channel, if you overcomplicate this process, you're not going to stick to it. If you tell yourself you're going to call 5 different loved ones on a daily basis, that's not conducive, because there's a reason that you're not doing it already. It's hard, right? You got a lot of stuff going on. So make it easy, and also think about the flip side of that. If you're your loved one, they haven't heard from you in a while maybe, and now all of a sudden you're calling them every day. That might get really annoying to them. So the biggest part of this, and why we're prioritizing this, is to bring joy to you and your loved ones. So that part of that equation is finding the right time to do so. And quite frankly, there are some people that you just don't need to talk to that often to keep the relationship deep. Like me and my dad, we don't need to talk on a daily basis, and we just remain close. So just be cognizant of that as well. And then number 2 on our list actually goes hand in hand with the first one. So you want to review your schedule, and you honestly, you don't get any bonus points for spontaneously calling a loved one. I know that some people view that as being more genuine, But what I consider genuine is just cutting out time for your loved ones. And if that has to be you like putting a task on your Google Calendar or, whatever it is to prioritize that, then that is as genuine as it gets as well. You don't get any bonus points for just, calling them up on a whim. I don't know about you, but like I'm in a busy season of life. Like if something is not on my calendar, it's not going to get done. And that's the same for this or anything else personally or professionally. So there's nothing wrong with putting it on your calendar if that's what needs to happen. Another thing that you can do is just figure out a time during your day, Monday through Friday, where you could make a call. You have some time to talk while you're doing something else. I'm not advocating for multitasking because we've gone against that before in other episodes. But what I mean by that is like, let's say, from 4 to 5 every day, you're driving home from work and you're stuck in 1 hour traffic no matter which way you take home. That's the perfect time to call up a loved one, put them on your Bluetooth speakers and just chat for a few minutes, okay? Whatever it takes to review your schedule and stick to something concrete over time. And then last but not least, the third point there, plan those conversation topics. Now, that might seem, again, a little disingenuous, but I promise you do not get bonus points for having those conversation topics, and be able to reel them off at a moment's notice. Some of us just aren't that way, especially some of us that are a little more reserved in the way we talk, or maybe that's a reason that, you don't talk to your loved ones as much already because you don't have that much to talk about. There's nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't feel guilty about that. Plan some conversation topics ahead of time. That way you can just kind of like, as silly as it sounds, just have a list of things that you can kind of cross off as you go. The same way you would with like having a sit down conversation with your boss about getting a raise or anything else, These 3 things I think can really move the needle and turn this into a daily call routine, or just something that you keep top of mind and you're looking more forward to because you have a structure to it and you've made it easier for yourself over the long haul. Remember guys, most of the time it is the small habits that can lead to the most significant change and the most significant purpose that you feel in your life. And this episode is just the beginning of building those stronger connections with your loved ones. So I challenge you to use the pointers that we've outlined in this video, whether it's starting with that first call or making a daily call routine, and implement this into your life. And as always, share this in the comments below with your experiences, or if you guys have struggled with this before and you came out of it with a routine that you've implemented, or you've just been able to reconnect with your loved ones. We want to hear your stories so that we can have that inspiration as well. So share those in the comments as well. Let's go on this journey together and just focus on the loved ones and the relationships that mean the most to us. That's what's going to give us a meaningful life and help us feel as successful as possible. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of our 10 Transformative Habits for Health and Success series. If you found this episode helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that you can be updated anytime a new episode drops. And remember, your path to stronger connections begins with that single phone call to the loved one that you have at the top of your mind. So keep connecting, stay resilient, and focus on the journey ahead.